Good evening, guys. How are you? Okay, this is the attendance for today. See, there's another person connected. Great. Guys, the last class that we have, it was on Thursday from last week. We learned how to create a backend that was secure. Let me show the backend. We finished it. Let's see. Yeah. And in our index file, I mean, it's not in the index. In all the routes, we start adding this validation token. This is a middleware that we have here. And the logic that we have here is that we're going to start receiving a token from now on in our request. That token is going to be created once you are creating a login. Let me show you here. So when you authenticate to our project, the idea is that we're going to create a token and we're going to return it here. Okay. In the payload of that token, we're going to save the username and the email of the person. The idea, guys, is that this token from now on, we need to save it. So let me show this working. No, it's node here. So we are in port number 3000. If I create a request here, for example, the get person request, I have a token right now. It's going to be expired. If I hit send here, I will receive this message. So from now on, if I need to authenticate to the project, I need to access to this endpoint. Okay. And in the body, I'm going to pass the email and the password. So if I pass the correct email and the correct password, I will be receiving as a response the token. And this token from now on, we need to save it somewhere. Okay. The idea is that in our front end, we're going to save this in local storage. So if I hit again the endpoint API phone and I pass a new token that is validated, now we're going to be able to see the table of phones. Do you remember this? Well,
Yeah.
great, excellent. So now what we are going to do is that we're going to put this in production and we are going to start modifying our front end and we're going to be able to grab this token and save it. Okay. So first, let me see if there is any commit pending here. No, there isn't. So everything is in GitHub. I will connect to my EC2 instance. And see, I have it here. And I will bring the changes to the computer. Okay, so first I need to navigate to the folder that is called projects. And this is the project agenda. So here, I will bring the changes and I need to restart my backend. So first I need to stop it. Okay. So let me clear here first. The way to stop the backend using PM2 is PM to stop agenda. So right now it's a stop it. You see? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, now we're going to run the command. Let me clear this. For some reason, terminal is not working so well. Okay, so here to deploy again, the project will be PM2 start agenda. Oh, sudo PM2 start index.js minus name agenda. Script already launched it. So it's online. Let's see. EM2 list. Hmm. EM2. It's already launched. Let me see if I open the port 80. And remember the URL of my project. Let me see my front end. I think it's this one. Let me see if it is working. Yeah, it is working for some reason. Okay, let me see. No process found. Okay, I think I might need to reboot my instance. Let me log in again. Hmm, Give me a second, guys. Trying to put this in production. Okay, now I try to access this URL. It's not working. Maybe that's because the IP has changed. Okay, let's do some modifications. I think I have a new IP here. Let me refresh this. I need to go to the Route 53. And I need to update the IP. This one here. So I will modify the record. Let me see if it is the same IP. Yeah, it is. So it means that the backend is, I mean, the IP is the same, but the backend is not online. So let me navigate and CD um, projects, CD agenda. Let's see. Okay. So here now sudo em2 index minus name agenda. Let's see if this works. Man, not found. Em2 start. Okay, great. Now it's working. Let's see if this is feels not work. Let me see if I put the IP here. Hmm. It's not working. Okay, I'm gonna do something, guys. I will be working with my local backend and my local frontend. So let's see. I'm gonna change this while I fix the problem later. So it will be here. Okay. Let me put my local frontend and backend online. Okay. See. Okay, great. Okay, so if I navigate right now, let me show you to the person route in my project, you will see that I do not have access to the table. Okay, and that's because I don't have the token. Okay, let me show you. If I open here, my developer tools, I will receive a message that says that something's wrong. Okay, I'm not able to get this information. Okay, and that's because our backend right now is secure. So we need to have the token. If I put this token that I have here, let me show it to you. If I put this inside of the request, for example, let me go to the table of persons that I have here. The request, I think, is get person right here, right? So if I add something else, if I start modifying the configuration of the request, in this case, I'm going to put here the method, going to be post. Oh, no, in this case, sorry, is get. And then I need to pass something that is called the headers. Here, um, there is something that is called authorization. And here is where we need to pass the token. So if we put the token like directly here, like this way, and if we pass, yeah, just like this, see, now I have access to the table data. You see it, guys?
Yep.
But the idea is that I mean, this token is going to expire, so we need to dynamically calculate this token in our front end, okay? So I'm going to leave it here right now because this is part of the presentation. And meanwhile, something is wrong in my AWS account. I will check it later. Let's just start with the presentation. So today, we're going to create a backend, a React project that is going to handle authentication, and we're going to manage a token. The objective for the class is that by the end of this lesson, the student will understand how to implement a simple authentication flow in React applications. Using functional components, the Fetch API, we're going to remember what is a prop. We're going to remember what is local storage too. So the students will be able to pass data between components and securely manage tokens for protected backends. So first, do you remember what is a prop in React? If you don't remember, guys, I will reinforce this topic right now. Props are like function parameters, okay? But in this case, there are going to be parameters that you're going to pass between components. Remember that in React, everything is a component. We call this atomic design. So a component is going to have child components and parent components, right? And you're going to pass those parameters to the child components. The idea is that the parent component is going to pass information to the child component. So let me give you an example. In this case, this is like the app is the parent component of all the project. So here I can create a variable. For example, I'm going to use a user state variable here. And let me call this name. Set name. And this is going to be a use state book. So remember that here we can initialize the value of that variable. In this case, it's going to be some name here, for example, this one. So what is a prop? A prop is going to be a parameter that we can pass to a child component. In this case, we have one, two, three, four components. And these are child components of the app component. In this case, imagine that I want to pass this name to the child component home. What I need to do is that I need to create a name of the parameter. In this case, we can call it username like this. And the value, we need to open the curly brackets, and then we need to pass, in this case, the use state hook here. So from now on, my home component that I have here, where's my home component? Here. So from now on, I can receive that information as a parameter. So if you want to receive that information here, you need to open the curly brackets and you need to put here the name of the component, of the prop. In this case, the name of the prop is this one, username. So if you want to render this component, let me go to the home section right now. Let me see, the presentation is here. Let's go to the home component. Right now, this is the only thing that is getting rendered. So imagine that you want to render that name that you're receiving as a parameter, but in this case, it's a prop. Imagine that you want to render it, you just need to access the parameter this way, like this. Like this. So as you see, now I have access to the variable that is part of a parent component, and we can pass that information to a child component. Does this make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So these are props. Okay. So let me show you something. First, I need to modify some CSS here because I don't like this. It's too much white here. So I'm gonna put it here in the index.css to the body. I'm gonna change the background color. And let me see if I can look for a different color like this one. Let's see. Like this. Okay, and in the color of the text, gonna be maybe beige. Let's see. Uh, oh, sorry. I put the class name body. It's the entire body HTML tag. Okay. So I think it looks better, but not too much. So let me see. Like this one. Okay, great. So let me move this previous to the presentation. So this is the way that you can pass prompts. Okay, let me do another modification. I will create a fragment here so we can return more elements. And I'm going to put a div inside this fragment. This is going to be like a container. Okay, I will assign a class name. In this case, will be a container. Okay, and we are going to enable deflex. I think it's this way. Align items. And justify content center. See? Okay. Another thing is that I want to put this like in the middle here. So I'm going to add this property. Okay, it's like in the center of the website. So, okay, right now you are understanding that we can pass variables. In this case, we call them props, right? And what we are going to do here is that we are going to save some information. For example, it's going to be the token. That token is going to be a global variable because this variable is global. If you want, you can pass this variable to all the child components. And from now on, those child components are going to save. I mean, it's going to be are going to be able to watch this variable. Okay, and we're going to use local storage too. Okay, so there is another thing that I want to show you too. Um, as I told you, we can pass the value as a prop too, but we can change that value. Yeah, if we pass the function that help us to allow the modification to the user state hook. Okay, so for example, imagine that in the home component, from now on, I want to share um, this new variable. You are going to pass. I mean, in this case, remember this is the function that help us to create the modification or to assign a new value for this hook. Okay, so let's call this modify name like this. And the value that you're going to pass here will be the function set name. So now here you have the capacity to change the name of that variable. Okay, imagine that you want to do it. What you need to do is that you need to open here um, the prop, and the prop names this one modify name. Okay, it's modify. Let me copy paste the name of the prop. This one modify name. Okay, so if for some reason you want to change the value of that prop here, you can do it. For example, like this in the use effect. We're going to change the name value for another name, like this new name. Okay. Okay, let me. Okay. Now, as you see, the original name was Joe, but actually the new name is this one. If you pass this information to the person, let me show you username like this. And in the person component, you want to render that name like here. But we need to open the props. It's username. Okay, let's see. I navigate to the person route. You see, welcome Joe, you see it, guys?
Yep.
Okay, but if I navigate again here, this is the new name. Okay. Oh, the thing is that we are refreshing the website. That's why we lost the name of the prop. So, I mean, the value of the prop because we are refreshing the entire JavaScript. But imagine that you are navigating using a button. So, for example, what we can do here, that we can put a name, I mean, an input, I mean, a button here. Let me see. Let me call the use navigate from React Router DOM, and we're going to initialize this. So when we add a class here, class name, and in the onClick, what we do is that we're going to navigate to the person route. Let's see. So this is new name, go to person. You see, the name of the prop is new name, okay? Because that's the information that we are modifying once we enter to the component home. So we modify the name of the username. It's not going to be Joe again anymore. The new name is the new username. That's the idea. That you can modify the content of a prop. That's possible, but you need to pass the variable. In this case, not the variable, is the function that helps you to modify the name or the variable itself. Okay. Remember that when we are using use state, always, guys, we have the name of the variable and the name of the function that is going to help us to modify that information or to modify the information. Okay. So let's continue because this is like the part that we need to understand first so we can get to the next step. Now, the next topic that I want to talk about is that we're going to know what is local storage. In local storage, guys, we have the capacity in our browsers that we can save elements or information um, inside of it, okay, inside of the browser. And we can have like an amount of 5 MB of information that we want to send in the browser. We can use the methods set item, get item, and remove item. Um, the only thing here is that we can just accept the strings. If you want to save a JSON object, you might need to use JSON.stringify. Okay, so this is an example of how local storage is going to work. Imagine that you want to save the token somewhere inside of the browser. You need to add a key to the name of the object. In this case, the key is going to be the word token and then the value. And if you want to access to that information, you might need to create a variable and access to the get item method, and you need to pass the key of the information that you are saving. So this is something that you learned in previous pathways, right? But I'm just giving you like a reinforcement because we're going to use these methods right now. And as I explained you, we can grab the token and use that token and create a fetch operation like this. We're passing the authorization, okay? Now, we're putting all this acknowledgement that we have reinforced right now together, and we're going to create a secure front end. So we're going to start saving our tokens in local storage, okay? The idea is that why this matter? I mean, why this pattern is going to matter? Because this is the way that is going to be a clean and secure front end design. We're going to prepare you, students, to a real world API authentication. This is going to encourage you to practice in React development, and we're going to enable a scalable code using this pattern, okay? So let's go and start coding. And what we are going to do here is that we're not going to pass a name anymore. What we are going to pass here is going to be a variable that is going to understand if you are logging in the project. So it won't be a name anymore. Let me remove this. And let me remove these props too. This one's too. Let me remove this information and this too, okay? Let's see, I think in the person, I am accessing to the prop here too. Okay. So in the app, we're going to create a variable that is going to identify if you are logged in. Okay, so let me create this variable. Let's log in and set log in. This will be a use state. And here we're going to assign our true or false value, okay? In this case, by default, you're not going to be logged in, okay? Okay, so this is the first step. This information is going to be passed to the child components. And the home component is going to be changed. Instead of having this welcome site, what we're going to do here is that we're going to have a form that is going to help us with the authentication. So in that form, we're going to require the username and the password. So let me remove this welcome that I have here. And let me start creating a div element that will contain the form, okay? But this div element is going to have a class name that is called card. This is going to help us to create a square. You will see it. Oh, well, right now it doesn't look so well, but the idea is that um, we're going to, how can I say this? Okay, the form is going to be deployed or rendered in a box. Okay, let me continue coding. Okay, let's see. Oh, I need to add something else. We need to add here the style, and we need to put a max width and a map. Um, yeah, max width and width. So let's see. In this case, the max width is going to be the 40%, I think. And the width will be 100%. Okay, let's continue. Now, inside of this div, I will start coding a form. And let's see. What we can put in here is going to be a title too, possible. So let me add an H3 here. And let me put the class name text center. Let's see how this, yeah. We can add some margin. Let me see. To right now. So we can create a separation between the text and the form. So the form right now, first we need to start creating elements of a form. So let's see. Okay, this is the way that we can create a div element for a form. Like here. Okay, let me format this. Okay, let me modify this part because it's not existing this moment. And we're going to request the email, right? Let me recall my request. If I am creating a token, we need the email and the password. Yeah. So it will be the email, the type instead of text is going to be email. And then I'm going to require the password. In this case, the type is going to be password. We are going to add a name. In this case, the name will be email. For this one, it's going to be the password. We need to do a match with the name with the same values of these properties, okay? Let me see how this is getting rendered. Okay, kind of pretty, not so much. Um, let's see what else we can do here. Maybe we need to add some space between the content of the box, right? Let's see if we can add like a padding here. Yeah, here, P, or let's see. Yeah, so we can add some separation. Okay, what else? Let's see if we can increase the size of this box instead of, let me put it as 50%. I think it's increasing. Let me see, 80%. Okay, looks better, right? Okay, now let's continue. And inside of this box, we are going to add a button. And this is going to do the submit operation, right? And let me add a class name here. Let's see, will be VTN and primary. So it looks like this. Let me change it to, oh, misspell it. Primary. Okay, let me increase the width of this button. Looks better this way. And we are going to create another button that is going to help us if you want to register in our project. But no, this is going to be later because, I mean, this needs to be outside of the form. Let's see. Yeah, like this, but I'm going to change the type, I mean, the color in this, let's see, secondary. And I will be adding some margin top of 2, maybe. Let's see. Yeah, so we can have that separation. The idea is that if I click here, I'm going to be redirected to another form so I can create my username. That's the idea of the whole project. I mean, of the whole process. Okay. And okay, so I have the two inputs. I have the button for login. The idea is that if I click the button, I'm going to perform the submit event. So I need to manage that event somewhere. So I will create a function that is going to be handling that event. Okay, so here I will be receiving the event as a parameter. And we need to event prevent default. This way, we are going to avoid to refresh the website. Once we have this, guys, the idea is that we can grab the information of our inputs. So I don't know if you remember this, but we learned it that we can create an object here. So we are going to create this object that is going to be called temp or new object, new data or body. And then we're going to have our modifier. And this is going to be a use state. Here inside of the uses, I mean, we're going to define an object. And in this case, we're going to have we need to set up here the same name of the properties that we need to receive here. So we need to have the email and the password. It could be like this. We can copy paste it. See, like this, email and password. But in this case, I will leave this empty right now. Let me format it. Okay, so we need another function or another handler that is going to be managing all the modifications inside of these inputs, okay? So we are going to create the form handler. Again, we're going to receive the event as a parameter. And we remember that we need to access to the target, right? That's something that we learned previously. Okay, so The idea is that every time that something's going to be changed inside of this input in the onChange event, we are going to call the form handler. And let's see, we need to do it here too. If you don't remember this, guys, let me console log right now. Two important things here. So from the event, we can access to the target dot name and the target dot value. Okay, let me show how this is working. Let me clean this and refresh the website. So imagine that I'm modifying the email. So as you see, this is the name of the input, and this is the value of the input. You see it?
Yep.
Yeah, right. So we have access to the name of the input and the value of the input. So what we're going to do is that information, we need to save it here. So a way to save it, the correct way, is that we can do something like this. We can create a new object that is going to be called temporal object like this. And this object is going to have the information of the body. So will be body dot email and body dot password, because we're going to create a copy of it, okay? So we need to put here email and password like this. So I'm creating a copy, the body. Let me format it. Once we are doing this, guys, we are going to use bracket notation. So that from the temp element that we have here, we're going to access to the event dot target dot name. So once we access to the property, we're going to add the value event dot target dot value. Once we are doing this, guys, what we are going to do is that we're going to update the new value for this body. So we're going to set body, and we're going to pass the temp element. In this case, we are updating this one, okay? Let's see. Once we have this configuration in our submit handler event, we need to start hitting our API. So let me create the base URL here. This is equivalent to, I remember it was like this way. I'm gonna copy paste. Okay. But in this case, this is not the endpoint. The endpoint that we are trying to hit in this case will be this one, user auth, because we want to create a token, right? Like this. Let me recall the .env file. Yeah, we have in the slash here. Okay, so that's going to be the endpoint that we are going to try to hit. And what we are going to do is that we're going to create a variable here that is going to be called URL. And this is going to be equivalent to the addition of those two variables, the base URL and the endpoint. Okay, now we need to hit the API. So this is going to be an asynchronous operation because the API is returning a promise. So we need to create a variable that is going to handle that result. this is going to be equal to await fetch. We need to pass the URL that we are going to hit. And then we need to set up here the method. This case will be the post method. Then we are going to pass the body. In this case, the body is going to be this one. Okay, but we need to JSON.stringify it. Then we need to pass the headers. Okay, and this is another object that will pass the authorization. No, in this case, this header, I mean, we didn't need to pass here the authorization because this is going to return the new authorization for us. So let's see. What we need to do here will be the content type. And this is equivalent to occasion JSON like this. Okay, so this result is going to receive the token, right? But this result again is a promise, so we need to do another operation. So we need to convert this into real data. It will be like this. Data is going to be equal to result.json. Okay, and we need to await this operation too. We are able to await it, and if you console log the data, you will receive the token. Let me show it to you. Let's try to perform this, okay? Let's see. I just want to make sure that everything is working. I think it's working. So let's try it. Okay, so I'm gonna put here, let me see, the correct data that I have. Let me recall the request. Create token, so we need to, I mean, I have this username right now in my database. And the email is hello. I mean the password. So if I hit login, hmm, let's see, guys. Yeah, I misspelled the word default. Let's try it again. Okay, if I hit login, hmm, this is refreshing the website. Yeah, I see. I see. I didn't put here the on submit handler. Sorry. Let's try it again. If I click hit, yeah, auth failed because I'm not passing any username and email and password. Oh, let me change here. The label is gonna be password. Let's see. Let's put again the correct data. So if I log in, you'll see that I'm receiving the token, right? You see it,
Yep.
right? And this is what I need to, I mean, this is the magic here. We need to start saving this token from now on because this token is necessary for every operation inside of the project because our backend is secure right now. So how can we save this information? It's going to be global data for the entire project. What we can do here is that there is something that is called the local storage, as I told you. But let's see. First, let's handle something. We're going to validate the status of this. Remember that I told you in our backend, if I put an incorrect data in the password, the status request is going to have a different value than 200. This is going to be a 400. This is representing a bad request. So we're going to validate this status, this one, this number that I'm receiving here. So the way to validate that is that we can access to something that is called the status. So let me console log that information for you so you can read it. I can console log something here that is from the result, and there is this variable that is called the status. And again, there is um, another variable or another property from the result that is called result.okay. And this is like, I mean, it's not like, it is a Boolean that is going to return true or false. So if the status is correct, it's going to return true. If not, it's going to return false. Let me show it to you. So let's see. I'm going to put here. And here, if it is okay. So let me try to hit again more data. In this case, I'm going to add a different number at the end of the password. And as you see, the status result is 400. You see it? And the result
Yep.
is false, right? You see, it's equal to false. If I pass the correct password, the status is 200 and the result is okay. I mean, and the result and the result dot okay is equivalent to true. So I'm going to do something here. First, instead of console logging this information, what I'm going to do first is that I need to validate the status of the response, of the result in this case. If to be here, if result dot okay, I will perform this operation. And this from now on is the token, right? Well, it's the token is part of the property of the data. Yeah, like this is the token, this is a property, right? So we're going to save that property in the local storage. And the way to do it is that we can do something like this window. Let me return to the presentation just to remember how we do this. And it's like this, local storage set item, right? So let's see, local storage dot set item. This is going to create a record in the table of local storage in our browser right now. So it will be called the variable token or the key token. And I'm going to set that this is going to be equal to data.token. This is going to save the content of the token. In this case will be this string that we have here, okay? Okay, this is the operation that is going to be performed. And if you have a successful login, guys, what we're going to do is that we're going to redirect to the dashboard or to the people or the person route. Let's see. So we need to enable the navigation here. We have it here with the use navigate hook. So we are going to initialize this navigate variable. This is going to be equal to use navigate, initialize it. And we are going to perform a jump between the route. So we're going to navigate to I think this is the name of the route. Let's see. Yeah, this one. So if you have a successful login, that's going to be the operation. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put again here. We'll refresh this and I will put the correct email and password. I think we have it here. Password is hello. Let me log in. Easy, guys.
Uh-huh.
So if the password is correct, I am redirecting to the person. Now, to the person route. Now, in this case, if the password is going to be incorrect, the correct thing to do is that we can put a message to the user. Let's see. What we can do here is that we can add a tag here, or it could be like a P element. And right now, what we can do is that we can create a variable with the user state variable too. This will be the result of the login. In this case, the result of the login is going to be empty. So if I render inside of this P element, this variable is going to be empty right now for the moment. But if the result is not okay, I will set the result of the login with in the invalid credentials. Like this, okay? So let's return to the login right now. Use effects, not a function. No, sorry, it's use state. My mistake. Okay, if I put incorrect information here, like this, and let's see. You see, invalid credentials. You see it,
Yep.
right? So this is like a notification, right? So let's put the correct information. I think it was here, hello. And the password was hello. Login. Yeah, okay. Now, this is just the creation of the form and how we're going to start saving that token from now on, right? Now, if you go to the persons table that we have here, right now, the token that I have here is hard coded, right? Because this is a token that I created at the beginning of the class. So what we are going to do is that we're going to grab the token from the local storage. This will be equal to get item. Will be local storage dot get item. And we need to put in here the same name that we created. So it was token like this. So now that information is going to be saved in this variable. And if I want to perform this operation, I need to pass a token from now on. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Great. Now we have a global variable here, okay? Now let's see, let's continue. Let's see what we need to, where else? Okay, so in the form, this one. Oh, let's see, form person that we have here. We are doing an operation to get to the database, right? So again, we need to access to the token first. Remember the variable is called token, and we need to pass the token as the authorization. This will be the value. In this case, is for if you want to perform a post operation, right? Because this is the form to create elements inside of the table. Now, this is the form to edit the table. See, so here we're going to grab the token from the local storage, get item, Need to pass the token here. Okay. Now, let's see if this works. Now, something that I remember that I didn't accomplish the time that I show you how to create the edit form is that I want to create something that is going to help me with the modification of the information. Let me recall this with you guys. Okay, if I want to edit this element, the idea is that we want to perform to get the information of the name, the gender, and the birth date automatically here inside of the form. So I remember that I was trying to create this operation, but I didn't finish this. And the reason was because, okay, first, uh, we have this get person by ID function, right? So we need to grab that information and we need to, I mean, we are creating here a fetch operation, so we need to pass the token first. Local storage dot get item, and we need to pass it as part of the headers. Sorry. Let's see. So, okay, so we have a problem here with something that is the, the date. But let's continue first. First, we need to get the person by ID, right? Let's see. This is the birth date that we have here. Now, the set person edit, we have this data, the element. So let's see, give me a second. Okay, so here, something was missing with the form handler here. We need to create, as I show you in this example, we need to create this temporal object, okay? And that's going to help us with the values operation. So if I copy paste this part, guys, and let's go to the edit form. Let me show to you guys. This will be the temp object. But in the temp object, we have the name, the birth date, and the gender, right? This was called person edit. So it will be like this. Now, this temp object is going to grab the target and that information, the value, right? Now, what we are going to do is that we're going to save that information again inside of the person edit, like this. And we're going to save this temporal element. So now you see I have the name, the mail, but something is odd with the date. And this is because the format that I'm passing here, this format that I have here, doesn't make a match with the format that is accepting this form or this input. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to change the way that I'm returning the date. So let me go to my, well, in this case is the person by ID, right? So it was here, person by ID, it was this one. So I'm going to pass it as just like this. And let's refresh this. Well, the format necessary is this one. Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, now as you see, if I put the ID of the element here, it's going to grab the name of the person, the actual gender, and the actual date. So we can change it. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, um, as you see, I'm using the token and it's working. I'm grabbing the information. I can send the data because I have the token here too. Now let's go to the form person. I think that we have that modification done here. What is this doing? No, this is the post operation. So again, I need to const token equal to um, local storage dot get item, and we're going to grab the token. Sorry guys, I'm duplicating this variable. It was done. The change has been done. I didn't remember it. I have here the token. So I think the only two elements or two more components that I'm missing to add the token are this one, the phone form and the table of phones. So let's see. When we are creating a phone like this, we need to grab the token again, get item. Sorry, this case is variable token. We need to pass it as the authorization. Okay. Okay, now the form table that we have here. No, this is the phone table. We have a deletion. Let's see. Headers, authorization. We need to pass the token. Let's see what else. I think we have to get. Yeah, this is another operation here too. So we need the token, guys, again. I mean, this is mechanic, guys. Okay, let's see if there's another fetch. Okay, here.
So it pretty much goes by all of the fetches.
Yeah, in every fetch, we need to pass the token from now on. That's the idea.
Okay.
Yes. Because our backend right now it's secure. So it's necessary this token from now on. Okay, let's see. I think we have all modifications done here. For some reason, I think I forgot to do the operation of edit. I mean, handle delete here. I need to pass the token here too. But I can copy paste it from. Oh, I forgot. Yeah. So I think we finished with all these operations. Let's see. Let me check this once I finish this one. Okay. I think we have finished. Okay, now, there's one more step that is missing. Let me show you something. If I refresh this, you see you have the login. I do not have the security that anyone without giving the password, we can bypass this login. If we can access to the person route, you will see not going to validate that the route is secure. So how we can add this security, guys? What we can do here will be this. Let me show to you guys that in the app file, yeah, this one, we created this variable that is called login. It's login, right? So what else we are going to do here is that we are going to pass this login here. We can put the same name of the parameter and the value, guys, no problem. Well, in this case, we're going to pass the function that is going to help us with the modification of this variable. Because we're going to change this value. Instead of being false, we're going to put it as true. Actually, at this moment is false. Let me show you this. What we can do is that we can add something that is called conditional rendering in React. So if one variable is true, we can continue rendering another part of the React project. So we're going to set up, if this is true, then we are going to render, sorry guys, we are going to render this route. Let's see. So, the login's not gonna be protected because we need it always, but we need to protect this route. So we need to put here, it's login. Okay, like this for every route. Let me show you that from now on, if I access to the person route, you see this is empty. And that's because the route
Yep.
has been protected. So if I return to the login, this is not protected. So how can I change the value here? Again, I will pass the function that can help me with the modification of that value. And I will need to pass it as a prop. So the name of the prop will be logging, log it, or auth, let's call it this way. And we're going to pass the variable. Now, in the home component, we're going to access to that prop. We call it auth, right? And what we are going to perform here is that, remember that we use this, right? We start saving the token, and we are going to set up that this is going to be equal to true. So from now on, the route is going to be, it's not going to, we're going to change the value of the route, and we are going to be logging in the project. Let me show it. Let me try this. You see? Now, if I didn't do, let me show again something else. If I didn't modify, imagine that I forgot to modify the auth. Let's try again. If I log in, guys, you will see that I have received this message here in the console that says that the location person is not existing, right? And that is because the login variable that I have here hasn't been modified. So I need to modify it. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why we need to put it here. So let's try to log in again. Okay, now I'm gonna change this table. Let's see. Table, where's the table? Here. I will change the background color. Will be table dark, like this. Now the table looks better, right? Okay. So if I want to edit someone, I can navigate to this route. Does this make sense, guys?
Yeah.
Let's see, Barry Allen too. Something happened here. Let's see. Yeah, but it works. Formats in page 114. Let's see what's uh edit person. Line 114. So it's here. And the problem is with the this is likely clause defined as undefined. This is weird. I mean, but it's working, guys. Okay, it's like a warning, this one. Okay, let's see if I handle the phones here. Oh, let me change my class name here. Let's see where. Table of forms. I mean, table of phones is this one. On table. Okay, let's see. Table dark. Do we have the word class? Yeah, here. The class name. Well, I think, look, oh, okay. Now you see that if I refresh the website, guys, all the information of my JavaScript has been gone. I mean, everything has been reloaded for the first time. So I need to log in again. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Right. So how can we solve this problem? Because this is a problem that we need to save in the app file. So what we need to do here is that we need to grab the token from the local storage. If we have a token, it means that we are logged in. Okay. So let's see. Uh, I will create a function here. Validate. And we are going to create a token here. So if this exists, so if this is different from null, if this exists, what we're going to do is that we're going to change this to true. So if I refresh it, not working, let's see. Oh, okay, something else is missing. We are going to call the use effect hook because we are going to run this function the first time that the app is presented to the user. Okay. So as you see, guys, because I have a token, I can access to the route from now on. You see it?
Yes.
Okay. So that's the idea, guys, that you can create your I mean that you can create this how can I say this? This is the security in your project. Okay. So something else, there is one last step. We need to log out from the project. So how can we log out? What we're going to do is that first we are going to create a component that is going to be called menu. Okay. And the menu is going to contain a button that is going to help us with the logout. But first, so we can perform this part, we're going to have a break of 10 minutes. Okay, so let's see, I'm going to put a timer of 10 minutes. I'm going to see you in 10 minutes, guys. Okay, guys, we are going to resume the class right now. Let's see. Okay, so the idea is that we are going to create at this point of the class a menu here is going to help us with the navigation inside of the front end, and we are going to add a button that is going to help us with the logout action. So let's see. First, we need to go to the documentation of the library that we are using right now, and we are using this one, navbar. My project is using this one that is called Cosmo. Okay. Um, so there are some options here that I can copy paste because these are created components for me um, that I can apply in my project. So if I check the code here, this is going to be the code that I need to copy paste and put it in my React project. Does this make sense? So the navigation bar that I would like to apply is going to be this one. I'm going to copy paste it and I will create here a component. It's not going to be a page. It's going to be a component inside of this folder that is going to be called menu. And let's see. This is going to return the navigation bar that I have been creating. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open my fragments and I will paste this. Let me format this. And I need to start doing some modifications to um, to everything that I have here. So for example, I will replace the word class or class name. So let me select it here and replace it by class. Okay, I'm going to replace all this appearance and it has been done. Now, something else is missing here. This input that I have here for a search bar, I will remove it because I don't want a search here. But what I do like is the bottom. So I will remove the form too because I don't need a form. I will need a div here because I want to flex this. Okay, let me. Okay, and the type's not going to be submit in this case. And the text will be logged out. Let's see how this is rendering. Okay, so how can I render the menu in the entire project? So the way to render it is that we're going to go to the app.js component that I have here. And first, I need to import the menu. Okay, and this menu is going to be rendered previous to the routes, but it's going to be part of the browser router. So I'm going to put it here. And this is going to be attached to the top of all the routes. Let me show it. Do you see it,
Yep.
guys? Now, this button needs to work. It is not working because I need to import the Bootstrap JavaScript file. So how can I import it? Let's go to Bootstrap. And here, there is this link that I didn't copy. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to put it this in the index.html. And I will leave it as the last script that I have here. Yeah, and this is going to enable, let's see, where is the project? Here. the button. You see it. Now I can toggle the button. You see it. Okay. And that was
Yes.
missing, guys. Okay, so I enabled the functionality of our Bootstrap library that we are using. So what I'm going to do as a next step is that I will be modifying the entries of the menu. So I will remove this down list that I have here because I don't want it. But I will like to have the home section. In this case, the home section is going to be the person. Yeah, let me call it home, but it's going to be, um, where is the href that I have here? Give me a second because I want, okay. So here, the href is going to be the person route. Let me move this. I think this is going to be the only, yeah, because if you want to add phones to that person, okay, if I click about, I mean, we don't have an about option, but if you want to add phones to that person, uh, let put a title. Let's put a title here like this. No, sorry, it's not here. It's here. And let's see if we can. Okay, this is going, the href of this element is going to be the person. I think it's the only thing. So if I go to home, it's the same route. If the idea is that if I click log out, the idea is that I'm gonna uh, drop the token and I'm going to update the is login variable, the is logged variable, sorry. So um, we are going to create a function here, but it's super necessary, guys, that you see this menu, it's a child component from the app, right? So these variable is going to be passed. I mean, this is not a variable, this is a function. This is the function that is going to be passed as a prop in the menu. So we can change the state as logget equal to false. Okay, so the menu that we have here is going to receive this variable auth, like the same way that we did it in the home. And inside of the menu, I will receive it here. Now, we are going to have a function. This is going to be called log out. And this function is going to perform the next operations. First, we are going to update this equal to false. And then we're going to import the use navigate hook from React Router DOM, and we are going to navigate to the index route. Let's see. Okay. And what else? We are going to remove, we need to remove the token, guys. So the way to remove an element from the local storage will be like this. Um, local storage dot remove item, and I need to pass the name of the item. In this case, it's called token, right? And the last part is that we're going to redirect to the home section. In this case, going to be the index. So you're going to log in if you want again. So we're going to navigate to the index. This is the idea. Let's see. So let's refresh this. If I click here, log out. Oh, Sorry, guys, I just created a function, but I need to call the function once I click the button. So let me see. I'm going to set up here that when I unclick this element, we are going to perform the log out function. Let's see. Let's refresh it. Oh, now there is another thing that is weird. We don't need to have the menu here at the top if you are logged out, right? Do you agree with this?
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So, okay, this is another trick. Or I mean, it's not a trick, but we need to set up here that if you are not logged out, I mean, if you are logging, you are going to render the menu. If you are not logging, the menu is not going to be rendered. So again, we need to perform the conditional rendering. It's logging. You're logging, guys. You're going to present the menu to the users. Not the menu is going to be hidden like this. Does this make sense? Let's try it
Yep.
again. Now let's log out and the menu disappear. You see?
Yep.
Okay, guys. So um, right now the lesson has finished. I will be creating like breakout rooms so we can have time so you can ask your questions. I don't know how are you doing with your assignments, but I know that Tammy requested the time for me, so I can help her because she's having some problems with their front end. So I will be creating this breakout rooms, and I will be working one-on-one with you guys at this moment. But previous to that, let me know if you have some questions about this lesson. There are no questions, guys. I'm gonna commit this, and let me explain you that I will create an assignment today. I mean, sorry, it's not gonna be today. It's gonna be tomorrow. That is going to request that you can perform these front end modifications so you can have the secure front end. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna commit this change. Sorry, I will save this one too. To okay, so the front end has now the new changes. I know you have the front end as part of the examples, the repository. So what you need to do is that you need to pull the changes. Is you want to check my new modifications and for the backend too, guys. So I will stop recording, but I will create the breakout room so we can talk, Tammy. Okay.